I'd like to take a moment and share with you the difference between a raster image and a vector image. You know, one of the first things that'll happen when you're working with a printer or designer is they're going to ask for a copy of your logo. And most often they're going to request a vector image. Now, a lot of our clients will just scratch their heads thinking, what is a vector image? So I'm going to show you what the difference is between what you might typically see and what a vector image is. Now, what you have in front of you is a logo for a client, pretty typical. It looks like a hand illustration. And this particular image is in a PNG format. A lot of times we'll get them in JPEG formats, but they are more like a picture or an image than anything else. And this is considered a raster image. And the way that you can tell is, give me a second here while I expand this. There we go. You'll notice how pixelated the image is. Raster images are a lot like television screens, and that you have pixels that form the actual image itself. And so as you expand it, it becomes more and more pixelated. So the challenge with this as a printer is if you want a nice crisp image, a copy of your logo, you run the risk of having it print something like this depending upon how large the size of the images that you want to print. So clearly that's not going to work. What you need to have is a vector image, and let me show you what that looks like. So here's something that looks pretty much the same as the previous image. The only difference is that we have converted this into an actual vector image. And what this means is as this image is sized up or down, and let me expand the size here, you can see it doesn't lose any of its shape. So it grows and shrinks exactly to the same shape and format that the original is, and it doesn't become pixelated. And for this reason, this is considered a vector image. I could go into a lot more technical detail, but it's really not worth it. The bottom line is vector images typically are Adobe Illustrator or .ai files or EPS files, .eps. So if you have those in your library along with your other images for your logo, those are the ones that we're going to want to see. Otherwise, we will have to go through the process of converting your logo to a vector image, which we can do, but there is a fee associated with that because, as you might imagine, it takes a little bit of work to do that. So that's the difference between a vector image and a raster image.